From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Thursday, October 15th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
Should be feeling like the trend is moving in the wrong direction.
The number of new coronavirus cases in Indiana remains high. We're live with updates on the mask mandate and Stage 5 you need to know. A child has died following a hit-and-run crash on the city's south side. Why police need your help solving this case. Plus, help is available for businesses struggling from the coronavirus pandemic. This morning, how Marion County businesses can apply.
It is Thursday, October the 15th. Take out your phone, take us with you on the go because you want to go outside right now before the temperatures take a tumble. So come on, let's head outside because Todd says, Lauren, don't do it later. Nope.
That's right, and you can see Raphael, he has the radar behind him, which we don't see a whole lot, or we haven't seen a lot in a while, Todd, and talk to us about what's going on.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple things going on here today. One, as you mentioned, Lauren, we are going to be dealing with some needed rainfall across the area. Raphael was talking about the temperatures. Right now is the warmest part of the day. As we get into the afternoon hours, which is typically our warmest part of the day, it's actually going to be colder this morning because all this rain is part of a cold front that is working its way through the area. Lafayette to Monticello up towards the Delphi and Peru area. You're dealing with some light rain with a few pockets of what we'll call a heavier shower here and there. And this cold front will continue to work its way from the northwestern portion of the state down through the central portion of Indiana and eventually over into southeast Indiana and close to Cincinnati as we get into the afternoon hours. And you can see that on TrueCast here. The showers continue to expand and then drop to the south. This is not going to be a big time soaking rainfall, but I do think it's going to be enough to wet the ground all across the areas. We could see up to about 1/10 of an inch of rain across most of the area. Now temperatures, you notice the change already. 65 in Muncie, 61 in Indy, but where the rain has moved in, Lafayette, you are now down into the 50s. Once your temperatures fall into the 50s and the rain starts in your neighborhood today, you are going to stay in the 50s. There's virtually no warming that is going to take place. As far as getting out and about, even if you have to bundle up a little bit, once we get past 1 o'clock, most of the showers should be done across the area. More on your afternoon forecast and the freeze warning that goes into effect overnight tonight coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Pretty quiet this morning. Here's a live look at I-69, a view near Cynthian Road. This is up in Hamilton County, so if you're traveling in areas like LaPel, Pendleton, Fortville, Fishers, Noblesville, you shouldn't have any problems taking I-69 at this hour. Everything is traveling up to speed, both northbound and southbound. Of course, we'll monitor the roads, though, throughout the morning and keep you updated. Raphael?
Lauren, this is a tough one. A 1-year-old boy has died, his 9-year-old sister in the hospital after being hit by a vehicle on the city's south side. This happening in Indianapolis. Let me take you to the scene. Police say this happened around 10:30 last night on Nelson Avenue. Both kids were in the street at the time of this incident. This morning, police are looking for the driver who left that scene. Investigators say they're working to learn if anyone has any video of a vehicle driving down Nelson Street during this time. If you have any information whatsoever, you're being asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Let's turn now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its impact here on the Hoosier State. This morning, state health officials say 1,172 more Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Since the pandemic began, more than 139,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. State health officials also say more than 14 more people, with the coronavirus have died here in the state of Indiana. Since March, more than 3,600 Hoosiers have died with the virus. Health officials also highlighted 3 counties in our state with high coronavirus numbers. Those are Fountain, Pike, and Cass counties. They all have positivity rates near 10%. Fountain County has the highest positivity rate in the state at more than 18.5%.
So Lauren just broke down all of those numbers. So as you can see, COVID-19 cases have spiked in our state, and the governor is addressing the cases as well as the deaths. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with what the governor has to say. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So the biggest headline from yesterday's press conference is that Dr. Christina Box, her daughter and her granddaughter have all tested positive for COVID-19. So now because of social distancing, now the governor and other state health officials are doing self-isolation and waiting for results on their COVID-19 test. So we expect to hear from the governor today on his results. And the main message from the governor is to continue wearing that face masks. He says despite the increase in cases that we are going to stay in stage 5, but Holcomb did extend the mask mandate for at least another month.
The pain that will come from assuming that if we just restrict down or shut down and it'll have no adverse impacts, it's our behavior, it is our actions that need to be addressed, and they have to be addressed together.
So now the governor did say that he does not plan on shutting down schools or any sectors. He's just encouraging Hoosiers to continue to mask up. Raphael?
Kelsey, did the governor mention anything about Chicago restricting how Hoosiers travel into the Windy City?
Yeah, so our Stephanie Wade was on that call yesterday, and she did ask him what were his thoughts and what does he think that Hoosiers should do. And he says the first thing we all need to do is take a look at what we can do to curb this increase in COVID-19 cases. But of course, we'll have more on that coming up in the next half hour. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. We'll see you at 6:40.
Well, Raphael, this morning you can get a free flu shot at Flanner House on MLK Street on the north side of Indianapolis. IU Health is teaming up with the facility to offer a drive-through clinic from 7:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Anyone who's ages 11 and older can get a free vaccination. There is a limited amount, however. There are many other opportunities for you to get a flu shot in the coming weeks and months as well. The Indianapolis EMS agency is offering mobile flu shot clinics once a week in the parking lot at Shepherd Community Center. That's on the city's near east side on East Washington Street near Sherman Drive. EMS leaders want to make sure that those who need a flu vaccine have access.
There's a lot of multi-generational families that live within these neighborhoods. So you have the very young and the very old living in the same house. And that's the people that we're most concerned about with flu, obviously, is the young and the old.
EMS is also working with Marion County and the state to figure out the best practices for mobile vaccination efforts, so they'll be ready when a COVID-19 vaccine becomes available. The free flu shot clinic runs every Wednesday this month from 9 to 1 and from 4 to 8.
Lauren, more help is on the way for hospitality businesses that have been really hit hard during this pandemic. So applications are now open for what's known as the Hospitality Establishment Lifeline Payment Grants. Through it, businesses like restaurants and live entertainment venues can receive up to $25,000 in future or unpaid rent or mortgage payments between April and December of this year. The grants are funded with $11 million from the Federal CARES Act and is the latest effort to help local businesses survive this pandemic.
Obviously, we want to see people continue to be working, and we want to see people to continue to be employed. And I think part of that is, just making sure these businesses can stay open. And so we recognize that some of your biggest hurdles as a business is just paying for your space, especially when your revenue is down.
There's some more details this morning. To qualify, businesses must have lost at least 10% of revenue during the pandemic. The city says at least 180 businesses have already applied. The deadline, here is the key date. The deadline is November the 6th. You can find more information and a link to apply on our website, WRTV.com.
Well, the mother of a Richmond teen who shot himself following a gunfire exchange with police will avoid jail time. On Wednesday, 44-year-old Mary York pleaded guilty to 4 counts of neglect of a dependent. A Wayne County judge sentenced York to 2.5 years in jail, but the judge suspended jail time and ordered her to probation. York, you may remember, called Richmond police back on December 13th, 2018 to report that her son was armed and headed to shoot up Dennis Intermediate School out in Richmond. Charges were filed against York about 10 months after this incident.
So, Lauren, the Postal Service now reversing all the changes made this summer, which, as you may recall, created an uproar across the country. This is the result of a lawsuit filed by Montana's governor against the Postmaster General. The settlement applies nationwide. Post offices will get rid of restrictions it made to overtime and late or extra trips for timely delivery. It will also reopen mail processing facilities that were closed and bring back those collection boxes and sorting machines that were thrown out. The agreement also requires the Postal Service to prioritize all election mail.
The time right now is 6:10. The Hoosier State will see college basketball fans for March Madness for years to come. The NCAA announced that the March Madness host sites for the 2022 through 2026. The Circle City will host the first and second rounds of the 2022 and 2024 basketball championships. Teams will return for regionals in 2025. That's in addition to being the Final Four host site in 2021 and 2026.
In 2020, the president and Joe Biden now set to go head-to-head tonight, but this is not going to be a traditional debate. Our political insiders weigh in on the TV battle that's now brewing. That story is coming up. But first, Todd Clausen says grab that jacket when you're heading out the door.
Yeah,
Good morning, TK.
Yeah, you'll need the jacket, Raphael, and you're going to have to dust off that umbrella as well, as we finally have some rain moving into central Indiana this morning, already falling from Peru up towards Lafayette. These showers, although they won't be heavy throughout the morning hours, will start to sink into the south. We'll track them hour by hour for you and look ahead to your weekend as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Now to Democracy 2020 and the race for the presidency.
Tonight, both candidates, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden, are set to be hosted in dueling town halls. WRTV's political insiders weigh in on this Thursday morning.
Now President Trump will have a town hall and Joe Biden will have a town hall. Will this be must-watch TV? Joey Fox.
They'll spice it up for social media. They'll spend all their money on Facebook ads with their highlights or the lowlights of the other team, and we'll move along and nothing will change, just like almost the entirety of this race.
I mean, they're both going on at the same time on competing networks. It is irresponsible of both networks to not try to figure out a way to have them doing a tete-a-tete.
The problem here is that the president has refused to do a debate if it's not in person. And so to me, it's frustrating. It feels like we're kind of rewarding bad behavior of, I don't want to do it this way, so I'm taking my toys and going home. And we say, okay, here's an extra candy bar. I find it to be very agitating. So no, I don't think it matters. It's just annoying.
As far as the debate goes, as far as virtual town halls go, and the town halls, I frankly don't think a lot of people will tune in. I think along with coronavirus fatigue, there is election fatigue, and there is a strong case of Donald Trump fatigue. That last debate really just laid bare the contrast between the two candidates.
These are our political insiders. We thank them a great deal. And our coverage of Democracy 2020 continues right now on WRTV.
Raphael, thanks. So we know Election Day is less than 3 weeks away, and for some voters, just getting to the polls, it can be really challenging. So this morning, a local group is working to change that. We first introduced you to the founders of the Go Vote Indy last month as they helped Hoosiers register to vote. Now they're working to make sure that everyone makes it to the polls, no matter the barriers.
We know that transportation is a major obstacle for a lot of Marion County residents, and we wanted to be able to provide a service that was both focused in voter registration, voter education, and transportation.
For more information on how to sign up for a ride to the polls, you can download the WRTV mobile app. All right, it's 6:16. It's Thursday, and Todd, we have some changes coming in our forecast after a really dry stretch.
Yeah, Lauren, 57 days in a row for Indianapolis without a tenth of an inch or more of a rainfall. We'll have the potential. It's going to be close to break this streak here today, as we are expecting some rain to slide through the area as a cold front makes its way into the area. Already dealing with some showers up towards Lafayette, out towards the Terre Haute area, but the shower threat really ramps up through mid-morning through the noon hour and then it will start to diminish again this afternoon. So I would say between 9 a.m. and then 1 p.m. is the best threat of rainfall as that front makes its way from northwest to southeast through central Indiana. Dry in Indianapolis right now. The temperature sits at 61 degrees. The humidity is starting to come up. We're up to 50%. And the reason I point this out, the lower the humidity, obviously the drier the air is. It's going to take a little while for some of these showers to reach the ground and actually get going. So when you look at radar and you see all this green, not all of that is reaching the ground as of yet. But eventually the atmosphere will saturate itself and we will deal with some widespread shower activity this morning. Temperature-wise, we're in the 60s and now in the 50s. And this is going to be an issue for us throughout the day today. 65 in Muncie, 61 in Indy. So it's nice and mild right now, but where the rain is starting to fall, you notice we're already down to 58 degrees in Lafayette. The colder air will continue to work in. So from this point forward, our temperatures will drop. We've already hit that high for the day today. You see the broken line of showers extending from northern Indiana back all the way into southern portions of Missouri. So this front will make its way through the area during the morning hours. And here is your temperature trend going down into the mid-50s. Here is the time frame with the heaviest shower activity, 10 a.m. through about the noon hour. And then we'll start to taper the showers off as we get into the afternoon. But even as we get rid of the rain, we never see the temperatures really moderate later on this afternoon because we're going to flip the wind direction. It's going to be a northwesterly wind, and that's going to keep things on the cool side. Here's TrueCast taking you through the rest of the day. Most of this, again, it looks a little worse on TrueCast than it actually will be as not all of this reaches the ground. But you get the idea how the rain's going to slide through the area. And then evening plans, you'll definitely have to bundle up, but it will be dry across the area with partly cloudy skies, down to 50 degrees by 9 a.m. But look at the temperatures tomorrow morning. Near freezing in Indianapolis, below freezing to the northwest. Lafayette, Peru down to 29 degrees, and that's why a freeze warning has been issued for almost the entire state of Indiana for tomorrow morning. So despite the chilly start with temperatures in the 30s tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Highs get back up into the mid-50s during the afternoon hours. Your weekend is dry but cool with temperatures in the low 60s before more showers return to the forecast starting on Monday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. It's pretty quiet in the traffic department, so that's good news if you're heading out to work or school early this morning. Taking me up here to northern parts of Marion County, I-465, a view here near Westfield Boulevard where traffic is moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. So whether you're here in Indianapolis, maybe up in Hamilton County and using the interstates, it should be pretty smooth sailing at this early hour. Raphael?
Lauren, you can no longer take any more days off. You make traffic sound fantastic all the time. So that's just what I'm going to say on this Thursday. If you're looking for a temporary or seasonal job, several companies and agencies, they're hiring Hoosiers. Today is National Hiring Day at Cabela's. The company is looking to add 7,000 team members ahead of the holiday season, including dozens at the store in Noblesville there in Hamilton County. You can apply online at basspro.com/careers. Meyer is hiring around 200 people at 14 Indianapolis area stores. Available positions include cashiers, third shift stockers, cake decorators, and pickup service associates. For more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com. And the Indiana Department of Transportation is hosting a hiring fair this morning to fill winter positions that run from November all the way through March. It goes from 9 a.m. until 3 this afternoon at the INDOT facility on Brookville Road on the east side of Indianapolis. Now, walk-ins are welcome at any time, but you will have to pre-register at indotjobs.com. Again, indotjobs.com. We'll have more from the job fair coming up live at 6:30. And we're just 12 weeks from the holidays, and shopping season is right around the corner. As you know, Lauren Casey already has a countdown. The changes stores are making to their biggest sales to keep shoppers safe during this pandemic.
Well, if you've been missing Broadway or your local theater, GMA has an event this morning that you will not want to miss. Coming up, Disney Theatricals has assembled 18 performers in 9 different countries all across the globe to sing a medley of your favorite songs from The Lion King. We all love The Lion King, so stay tuned for that. Good morning to you in Mooresville, Crawfordsville, and Muncie. The time right now is 6:21 on your Thursday. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stick around. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:24 on our Thursday. Raphael, let's chat about what is trending at 6.
So, Lauren, for baby Archie, your son, the rotary phone will one day be an artifact, sort of like the dinosaurs, because he'll say, Mama, what was that? And you'll say, it's not a cell phone, Archie. So some of us remember the days without video calls and cell phones. Well, Hassan Al-Turki does and only uses vintage phones. His repair shop in downtown Cairo is a museum of telephone gadgets going back to the 1800s. Now, part of his collection includes phones owned by Charlie Chaplin and Egypt's late King Farouk. He also picks up phones left behind in old palaces and villas and restores them to working condition, either to sell them or pass them along to his son. Check out those old phones. Wow.
Those are cool. I wouldn't even know how some of those work, so that's pretty interesting. Well, Raphael, a British boy is celebrating. This is 10-year-old Max Woozy, and he started a charity campout back in March, initially to collect just over $100 to help his neighbors, Rick and Sue, pay for their hospice stay during this pandemic. Well, he lived in the tent now for 7 months, ultimately collecting $52,000 in donations. That tent, by the way, was a gift from Rick, who told him to have an adventure in it. I think he just did. That's awesome.
I'm so impressed by kids these days, because when I was 10 years old, I was so lame that I'm thinking, dag, what did I do with my time? But what a good young man. Another great view of fall foliage here in central Indiana. Check this out. This picture is from David Wycliffe. We thank you, David, for the picture. This is a view of the Metzler Woods Nature Preserve in Shelby County. Todd Clausen, check out those golden leaves on those tall trees. What a view. Of course, over the next few days, we'll share photos sent to us on Facebook of the fall foliage right here in central Indiana. Todd, good morning to you.
Yeah, Raphael, good morning. Beautiful picture there. The rain is making its way into central Indiana with the rain and the wind. Quite a few leaves probably going to come down over the next 24 hours. You can see the broken line of showers extending right now from Fort Wayne down into portions of Terre Haute and then into Illinois. We'll give you a little bit of a closer look. Crawfordsville to Lafayette to Peru, seeing some rain showers right now. Now all of this is reaching the ground as of yet, but this line of showers will continue to make its way from northwest to southeast throughout the course of the morning. It's not going to be a super soaking rain, but some areas could see over 1/10 of an inch of rain, which you haven't seen in over 2 months in some locations. So this will be needed rainfall across the area. With it, though, comes much cooler weather. We've already hit our high for the day today. We'll talk about the temperature trend for you coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you. So we know the holiday shopping season, it's right around the corner, and so stores are gearing up for their biggest sales of the year. Working for you, our own John Matarese explains how Walmart is doing things a little differently to avoid those big crowds.
Stores and shoppers are all skittish about Black Friday this year. They don't want to see hordes of shoppers rushing the store. So Walmart has just announced 3 separate Black Friday events to spread out the crowds. This 20-year tradition, the mad rush to stores Thanksgiving evening, is over, at least this year. No more lengthy lines, no more fights over flat screens. Stores can't risk crowds with the pandemic still spreading. So the big 4 Black Friday retailers, Best Buy, Walmart, Kohl's, and Target, have all announced they will not open Thanksgiving evening this year. So what will they do? Walmart has just announced 3 Black Friday events to spread things out. November 4th starts Black Friday deals for days, ongoing sales all month. On November 11th, Walmart starts its big electronic sales. Finally, the day after Thanksgiving, we'll see a smaller in-store event focusing on home goods and other items. Analysts predict other stores will have similar spread out sales to keep the crowds down and so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning, let's take a look at your 6:30 news feed. A toddler is dead and another child seriously hurt after a car hit them on the south side of Indianapolis. This happened around 10:30 last night along Nelson Avenue. The 1-year-old boy died at the hospital while his 9-year-old sister is in serious condition. Police are still looking for the driver who fled the scene.
Indiana has now been added to Ohio's travel advisory. The Ohio Department of Health now recommending a 14-day quarantine when traveling to Ohio from Indiana. That's according to the department's new COVID-19 travel advisory map that was released on Wednesday. The advisory comes just one day after Chicago issued an emergency travel order for Hoosiers as well.
A new art exhibit will showcase the work of the artists who painted the Black Lives Matter mural along Indiana Avenue. 18 Black Lives Matter will open next Friday, October 23rd at the Indianapolis Art Center in Broad Ripple. The exhibit will feature paintings, chalk work, and digital design by the 18 local artists who worked on the larger scale mural. Here at 6:30, I want to thank you for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, Todd Clausen, and Rafael Sanchez standing by. Rafael, good morning to you. Hopefully you got outside already this morning, Rafael.
I did get outside. It is beautiful out there for now. And Lauren, you would love this. And Todd, listen up. Went to a retail store yesterday playing Christmas songs already. The song in particular that kind of hurt me was "Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow." I say no to snow, Todd Clausen. We'll take the rain today.
Yeah, we do need the rainfall, Rafael, so let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. We can keep the snow away at least for a few more weeks or months, I guess, depending if you're a fan of it or not. But we do need this rainfall. We're finally going to get some across a good portion of central Indiana throughout the day today as this cold front starts to work its way through. Some of the heaviest shower activity just now to the east of Monticello, just south of Peru. To the north of that, some light rain showers now starting in Lafayette and just north of Frankfort as well. It's kind of a broken line of just some light rain showers, but we will take whatever rainfall we can get as this front will make its way eventually from northwest to southeast across the area. And TrueCast shows how the showers will expand here throughout the middle half of the morning and then push down to the southeast as we work our way into the evening hours. The rain never really gets all that heavy, but I definitely do think you need to have the umbrella or just a rain jacket with a hood handy, especially mid-morning through early afternoon. Temperatures in the 60s in most locations, but you see this 50 here in Lafayette. Everybody will fall into the 50s here throughout the course of the afternoon hours. Once you are into the 50s, you stay there. So our high has already occurred for the day today. It's going to be a chilly afternoon. Once we get to the evening hours, the rain is done, but it's going to be about 56 degrees at 5 p.m. So you definitely need to have the warmer jacket if you're going to be out and about later on today, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is a live look on the north side at I-465 and Westfield Boulevard. The good news right now is you're heading to work or school. Things are really quiet around the metro area, so hopefully it stays that way, and we'll keep you updated if there are any trouble spots throughout the morning that you need to avoid. It is 6:31, hiring Hoosiers now, and with winter right around the corner, the state's transportation department is looking for people who can help keep the roads clear for drivers once the weather starts to turn. So joining us live this morning, social distancing, is Mallory Duncan with INDOT, and they're having a hiring event later today. So Mallory, first, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, Lauren, good morning.
All right, so Mallory, talk to me. What types of positions are you guys looking to fill as we turn into the winter season?
Yeah, so we're hosting a hiring fair, and it's actually across the state. This hiring fair today in Indianapolis, 7105 Brookville Road. We're looking for seasonal workers. So you see the snow plows behind me. That is exactly what you'll be doing. We need those snow plow drivers. And yes, we're hoping to do it early before the snow hits. I heard you talking about rain today instead of snow. So hopefully the snow holds off and we can get these drivers in here for the winter season.
All right, well, we know that you guys are preparing and you've been busy doing construction, so a lot of people might see you out on the roads and they may not have looked for a job before because of COVID and everything happening. There may be some people out of work looking for that temporary work. Where do they go? What do they need to know, or what do they need to bring with them today?
Yeah, so we are doing a hiring fair here at our Indianapolis sub, which is what I mentioned, 7105 Brookville Road. That's in Indianapolis. It's a walk-up event, so if you haven't pre-registered, that is completely okay. We'd love to see you. We're here from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. If you want to go, you have a couple hours right now. Go ahead and go online and apply. First, it just speeds up the process, but again, no applying first necessary. But if you want to, it's indotjobs.com. You can head to that website, click on the East Central District and apply for our jobs here, and then head out to Indianapolis. our sub-district to actually go through the interview process. You're going to sit down with a manager today, go through a drug screen. If you have a CDL, please bring it. These positions do require a CDL. So head out there this afternoon, again, from 9 a.m. to 3.
All right, Mallory Duncan with NDOT, thank you so much for joining us today, and hopefully we can get some Hoosiers hired and help clear our roads this winter.
Lauren and Mallory, thank you so much. All of the information at hiringhoosiers.com. Next, the warning from the governor on the coronavirus surge, now that it's reached his office and the office of the state health department.
And the number of COVID-19 patients in hospitals also growing. Coming up, an expert on why doctors are seeing a sudden spike in the number of people that they're treating. At 6:34, we'll be right back after the break.
Lauren and I welcome you back to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday. Despite an increase in COVID-19 cases, the governor says Indiana will continue on stage 5, Lauren, at least for now.
But Governor Holcomb also had some strong words for Hoosiers, and he says he may have to take action if these numbers don't improve. So our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning. Kelsey, we know many people have been reacting to the mask mandate. It was set to expire on Saturday. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that's right. The mask mandate was expected to expire on Saturday, but it has been extended for at least another month. But like you said, we are staying in stage 5. What we did learn yesterday is that Dr. Christina Box and some of her family members have tested positive for COVID-19. And because of contact tracing, they were able to identify that the governor and other state health officials needed to get tested. We expect to hear their results later today. Now, we've told you that Chicago added Indiana to their traveler quarantine list, and we asked what he makes of that and how Hoosiers should feel.
People should be feeling like the trend is moving in the wrong direction. And what do I need to do to bend that trend down? And I think she has the best interest of her city and at heart and of mind, and so do I for our state. And the quicker we both, because this is happening all over the Midwest, the quicker we both and our other neighbors can bring down these numbers, obviously the more lives and livelihoods we will save.
Now, the governor did defend staying in stage 5, saying how important it is that the state remains open. He says he traces back the rise in cases to people not taking proper actions. He says it's safe to have events and it's safe to have sporting events so long as everyone is taking the proper precautions, staying socially distant and masking up. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you. We want to take a closer look now at some of the data from the Department of Health. 14 more Hoosiers died with COVID-19 between Sunday and Wednesday. That means so far 3,609 Hoosiers have lost their lives with the virus. We're also seeing a big increase in the number of people needing to go to the hospital because of COVID-19. As of Tuesday, 1,357 Hoosiers have been hospitalized, making it the highest level since mid-May. Those hospitalizations are beginning to take a toll on resources around the state. Just under 32% of the state's ICU beds are available, and just under 78% of ventilators are now available statewide.
And so, Raphael, let's take a closer look at what may be behind the rising cases in our state and across the country. Dr. Romuletti, he's the Chief Physician Executive for Community Health Network. He tells us the increasing numbers of cases in our area could be due in part to silent spreaders.
The main reason we're getting all these infections is from asymptomatic patients, people that don't know that they have symptoms. They may have been in contact with somebody a couple of days ago. They don't know that they're infectious. Then a day later, they get a call from their friend saying, "Hey, I'm positive." And so if you're near that person, you may have been shedding the virus and giving to other people as well.
Dr. Uletti says that social gatherings are also leading to more COVID cases. He says that with the holiday season coming up, you need to take some extra precautions to protect you and your family.
We strongly recommend really limiting to very small gatherings, immediate family, people you know about and that they've been quarantined or not been around others. If you do go to a place that you don't know, you should wear a mask at that place, at those homes. We also would would suggest different ways of doing this in terms of size. Perhaps we're having more virtual gatherings. But just take extra caution about wearing masks from around people you don't know if they've been around other people, and really maintain that 6 feet, and really limiting the size of the gatherings, and try and do the gatherings as much as you can outside.
As for Halloween, we know it's coming up, and Dr. Yaletti says that you should not hand out candy if you're in that high-risk category to contract the virus. If you do pass out candy, he suggests keeping the interactions outside your home. Consider using tongs instead of your hands. For the kids, it's important to wear a cloth mask, not the ones that come with the costume. Stay in small groups and make sure that treats are individually wrapped. Wait until you're home to eat the candy after it's been properly sanitized and checked out. Raphael?
Those are all good tips. Lauren, thank you so much. As we've told you, your next visit to the Windy City may be longer, but not because of all the sights you'll want to see. Next, we talk to our political insiders about the latest quarantine orders for Hoosier travelers. But first, let's check out your forecast on this Thursday with our Todd Clausen.
And rain showers are making their way into central Indiana, mainly in northern locations right now, but they'll be approaching the metro area here as we work our way through the next couple hours. The heaviest the showers just now to the west of Peru, some light rain in Crawfordsville as we work our way throughout the day. You'll need the umbrella this morning, but the showers become more spotty this afternoon. We'll talk about your Thursday forecast in detail coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
So a lot of confusion over the pending plan to require Hoosiers to quarantine in Chicago if they plan to visit the Windy City. WRTV's political insiders, they really agree on anything, but on this issue, they say this will be very tough to enforce.
I want to ask you about the city of Chicago now asking Hoosiers to enter their city beginning Friday to quarantine. What does that say about us, and what does it say about what Chicago is now doing?
It's largely symbolic, but the symbolism is striking. All we've heard from Republicans in this state for the last 12 years, 14, 16 years is how much better Indiana is than Illinois on all these metrics. And now Illinois is saying, you guys can't control your virus. You can't control things. We don't want you coming into our state. And it's the same thing that's happening on the national level. Americans are not allowed to travel to Europe. They're not allowed to travel about anywhere else in the world because we're not being responsible.
Mayor Lightfoot is one of the least effective mayors in the country, and has just allowed her city to run rampant over the last several months since the end of May. So I'm not necessarily encouraged by her leadership and the leadership of her state, but certainly there's some symbolic, some symbolism that goes along with this, that Hoosiers have got to take this seriously.
People travel over the holidays. People want to be with their family members and their loved ones. And I would not be surprised to see more of these type of recommendations that are coming out to people.
Can this really be enforced as people, really, it's the big city, right? People travel to it all the time.
I grew up in Northwest Indiana. It's completely unenforceable. People travel all across, but at the same time, if I'm sitting in Chicago, I understand why she's saying it. You've got Wisconsin north of you that has a similar relationship, frankly, near the state line. And so you want to try to protect people. Wisconsin's skyrocketing. Our numbers are going up. And so, I appreciate that the governor wasn't flippant about it. I've appreciated his leadership on this, particularly in the spring. I was really proud of him. I just think that now we've got to clamp back down, and nobody wants to do it, but it's what has to happen.
These are our political insiders. We thank them a great deal. And our coverage of Democracy 2020 continues right now on WRTV.
All right, thank you there, Raphael. As we go throughout the course of the day today, finally some rain in the forecast. We had that little quick burst on Monday when the cold front went through with some rain showers. The rain showers today going to stick around at least a little bit longer. They're moving in here this morning, and they'll be with us throughout the early afternoon hours, and then they'll come to an end. So today's definitely not a washout of a day, and this evening it's going to be very chilly outside, but it is going to be dry. So if you're thinking about exercising, you have a little bit of a window in spots this morning, and then you'll just have to bundle up later today if that's your time preference as far as getting out and about. The rain stretches from northern Indiana now down into southern portions of Illinois. This is a cold front. This is all going to start to drop down to the south as we go throughout the course of the next few hours. Light rain, Logansport over into Monticello, into the Delphi area. Some scattered showers close to Lafayette, as well as Kokomo now. And again, the progression will be from northwest to southeast with this cold front. And TrueCast does a pretty good job of picking up on this. A lot of this really light green stuff that you see here, that's not going to reach the ground, but these darker shades of green and the yellow, as that works its way through the area, will make it to the ground. So I think for the metro area, at least, we're looking at a time frame from about 9 to 1 o'clock for some of these showers to move through. Comes to an end quicker to the north, and then the showers will linger a little bit longer in southern locations as we go throughout the course of the day. And it's not a big time soaking rain. We're talking about 1/10 of an inch of rain across most of the area. So obviously that's enough to wet the ground. But as far as the grassy areas, I mean, the ground is so dry, it's just going to absorb this rainfall very, very quickly. Temperature-wise, we've already hit our high for the day today. That occurred just after midnight when we were in the upper 60s, and you can already see the change starting to take place. 58 in Lafayette, 60 in Thorntown, 61 in Indianapolis. We go over to the Muncie area, Connersville, mid-60s as far as your temperatures. We will continue to see our temperatures fall. In fact, it's a pretty big drop-off as this front comes through. By 10 a.m., we're down to about 54 degrees. And once we get into the mid-50s there, our temperatures are going to stay in the mid-50s, not only through the noon hour, as you see here, but through much of the afternoon as well. The difference is once we get to the afternoon hours, we get rid of the rainfall and we'll just have mostly cloudy skies. Your evening forecast shows the temperatures in the 50s, and eventually by 10 p.m. we're going down to 48 degrees. And with clear skies and light winds overnight tonight, it gets really, really cold. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you're waking up to a temperature of about 33 in the city. I will not be surprised if there's some 20s in the outlying areas, and that's why there is a freeze warning that will go into effect overnight tonight from the National Weather Service. Saturday, a couple degrees warmer at 35 degrees, so it's going to be a couple very cold mornings heading our way. Tomorrow, despite the cold start, we do get back up close to 60 degrees in the afternoon with partly cloudy skies. And here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. Saturday, 60 degrees with mostly sunny skies, a little more in the way of cloud cover on Sunday with a high of 63. And then the next rain opportunity after today, Lauren, that'll be as we start the new work week on Monday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. Here's a look over on the west side of town at I-465 and Rockville Road, where traffic's really picking up down there on the interstate, but everything is traveling smoothly. Right now, no crashes to report around central Indiana to slow down your commute, and that is good news. We'll keep you updated. All right, so you hear the music. It is time for Throwback Thursday. And here's a story of what was very nearly a tragedy right here in Indiana involving one of the country's greatest musicians, Raphael.
Yeah, so 35 years ago this week, legendary singer and songwriter, the Ray Charles, escaped serious injury in an accident involving his plane. Let's take you back to 1985. Charles was scheduled to play a concert as part of homecoming at Indiana University, but heavy rain hit the area just as his plane was landing at the Monroe County Airport. The plane skidded off the runway and into a cornfield. Now, luckily, there were no serious injuries. Former WRTV reporter Greg Todd spoke to members of Ray Charles's band and crew, grateful that everything was okay.
Ray Charles was sitting in the back of the plane playing chess on a Braille game board when the accident occurred.
He had walked to the front and got in the crowd, in the middle of the crowd, and I pulled him out of the crowd and told him to come with me and walked him out the back door. And then me and my brother took him on up the hill.
The entertainer was not injured, but badly shaken up.
I mean, everybody was, plane crash,
Since then, Ray Charles has passed away. It was an American treasure. You can read more about this story, and you'll see all of our throwback stories right now at our website, WRTV.com/history.
Welcome back. It is 6:55 here on Good Morning Indiana. Meteorologist Todd Clausen will have a look at our Thursday forecast coming up in just a minute.
But Lauren, first, here are this morning's top stories. Indiana's mask mandate will now remain in place until November the 14th. Governor Holcomb also announced that the state would remain at stage 5 of his recovery plan.
The mother of a Richmond teen who shot himself following an exchange of gunfire with police will not go to jail. Mayor York was sentenced to jail time after pleading guilty to 4 counts of neglect of a dependent. But a Wayne County judge suspended jail time and ordered her to probation.
More students in Hamilton Southeastern schools will be returning to the classroom full-time. Last night, the Hamilton Southeastern School Board voted to have students in grades 5 and 6 move to 100% in-person learning starting November the 2nd. Students in pre-K through 4th grade were already back in the classroom full-time. 7th through 12th grade students will remain on a hybrid schedule for now.
Applications are now available for hospitality establishment lifeline payment grants for Marion County businesses. Restaurants and live entertainment venues can receive up to $25,000 to help make or catch them up on rent or mortgage payments. You can find out how to apply for those grants at WRTV.com. All right, let's talk about the forecast, Todd. An active radar behind you.
Yeah, we haven't been able to say that too often lately here on Good Morning Indiana, but some rain showers are moving into central Indiana. They're all very, very light, pretty scattered in nature, mainly right now just north of the metro area, Lafayette to Peru to Kokomo, some light rain showers. And we'll deal with scattered showers off and on throughout the morning hours and into the early afternoon hours as this front works its way through the area. Now, as far as temperatures go, we've already hit our high for the day today. We're going to settle into the mid-50s here as we get into the afternoon hours, so have the jacket handy. Most of the showers should be done by about 2 o'clock. Overnight tonight, freeze warnings into effect down to 33. Tomorrow, 57 with sunshine.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with local news, weather, and traffic updates. Have a great Thursday.